Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of slope-intercept form. This is standard 7.7a in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 17 off the 2019 released STAAR test. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. So we have a graph here, and we simply need to match it up with one of these equations. Now these equations are using the slope-intercept form, so y equals mx plus b. So let's look at those components real quick. We know what the y and the x are. They're labeled right here. X goes side to side, y goes up and down. So we know what those two are. M is our slope, and this is the one that's takes a little bit of work to calculate. So slope is the change in y. So we use this triangle, call it delta because that's how we would write it in Greek. But that's typically used in mathematics for change. So change in y over the change in x, which means we're going to take two different y coordinates, subtract them. We're going to take two different x coordinates and subtract them away. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1, same with x. Or another way to think of it, it's very important, that's why we have so many different ways to think of slope, is rise over run. So that lets you know we're looking for the vertical change, and then divide that by the horizontal change. Because when we rise, we go up and down. When we run, we go side to side. So that's slope. We're looking for slope. We're also looking for the y-intercept. That's what this b is. Now, why they would call the y-intercept b, no idea. But someone decided to do it once, and we've all been calling it b ever since. So that really just means, where does this line cross the y-axis, or where does it intercept the y-axis? If we make x equals 0, where is that line going to cross the y-axis? So that's going to be a little bit easier to find. So we can actually find that one first. So we've got a line, and it's crossing the y-axis right there at -3. So we are going to go ahead, and we know that our b, it can be negative, right? So we're going to go ahead and put that as a -3. That's pretty simple, because you see it clearly crosses it right there at the -3. Because what happens is, if we make our x equals 0, right? So our x is 0 right here. This is going to get us that 0, 3. So if x is 0, then our y is going to be -3. So that's the y-intercept. Now the slope is a little bit trickier, simply because you have to find 2 points that work. So I'm going to show you that we can, looks like I'm going to use that 0, -3. That works just fine. But I'm going to use this other one right here. So it looks like this is going to be 4 negative, what does it look like? -6. Okay. So 4, -6. So let's plug that into this this little change right here. So we've got the second y. So we've got the second y, which is -6, minus the first y, -3. That's kind of confusing. And then we've got the second x. That's a little bit easier. 4 minus the first x, which is 0. All right, so two negatives make a positive. So really that's going to be -6 plus 3. And 4 minus 0 is 4. That's pretty simple. So -6 plus 3. If we look at our little line right here, we got -6. If we do plus 3, we're actually getting closer back to 0. So it's going to be -3 over 4. So we can look at that as -3 over 4 is the same as -3/4. We have -3, so our answer here is A.